This is my small tiny Panasonic Lumix GX850 camera with a giant telephoto lens, the Lumix 100-300mm f4 to f5.6. I got bored with photography and I thought about this crazy idea to use this unthinkable camera and lens setup for a few days as a challenge to boost my creativity and to make photography fun again for me. The setup definitely looks and feels ridiculous, but I'm surprised by how fun it is. In this video, I will share what I learned from using this funny setup and how it could inspire you too. As we all know, photography can get boring sometimes. You already have this nice camera, you already have this nice lens, you already know them, you are already familiar with your setup, and everything becomes predictable. You already know what to shoot, what kind of results that you will get from your cameras and lenses. And because everything is predictable, then everything becomes boring. You feel less inclined to go outside and try to create some nice photographs. And that's exactly what happened to me. I am bored with photography again. Picking up a camera feels more like a chore than a joy, especially with all the things that are going on in my life right now. All that I want to do is just to rest, to play some video games, to watch some movies, or scroll into the social media. And then one day I remember a quote that I heard many years ago. To put credit where it's due, it's from Zack Arias, the photographer. Some of you might know him, but if you don't, I will put his picture right here, right now. But basically, the quote says something like this. I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact words. A little healthy restriction can spark a lot of creativity. So after remembering that, I set a challenge to myself to use a restricting kind of camera and lens setup for photography just for a few days. And that's when I come up with this ugly looking setup right here. So this is my Panasonic Lumix GX850 together with the Panasonic Lumix 100-300mm f4 to f5.6 lens. Look at this setup. It's the most unergonomic camera setup ever because the camera is so small and the lens is so big, so it feels unbalanced and very uncomfortable to hold for a long period of time. But I was determined to stick to my own challenge and try to at least capture a few photos for a few days. And boy, I am surprised. Anyway, let me show you some pictures that I took using this silly setup. So all of the pictures that I take are just things that are happening around me or things that are in the nearby garden or some portraits of my wife. Don't expect me to show pictures of wildlife or pictures of distant landscape photographs. This is a challenge. I only have a few days using this setup, so I cannot really show you that kind of stuff because I'm not currently traveling. So even though these are pictures of mundane everyday things in my life, I still try to be mindful when I'm taking these pictures. I don't treat them as snapshot. I don't treat them as sort of an obligation to take picture. I still try to put my heart and soul into these pictures. Maybe they're still not that good, but hey, let me know in the comment down below. And also, as you can see on the pictures that I showed you, 100-300mm is considered ultra telephoto focal length. So everything is zoomed in and close. Hey friends, sorry for interrupting this video. Just a quick announcement, if you want to learn how to take better pictures, you should check out my course ebook called Simplifying Travel Photography. In this ebook, you will learn all the things that you need to know about travel photography and just photography in general. It is based on my 12 plus years experience as an enthusiast travel photographer after visiting more than 20 countries around the world. And that includes composition, layering, storytelling, camera settings, mastering your lenses and focal lengths, best travel cameras, best travel lenses, travel photography gear, and many more, including plenty of sample pictures. If you are interested in getting this ebook and you want to purchase it, you can go to this link right here, or scan this QR code right here using your phone, or you can go to the description below. I will put the link there as well. By purchasing this ebook, you will greatly help me to continue making high quality photography content on this channel. Thank you, and now let's continue with the video. After showing you the pictures I've taken with this setup, now it's time to talk a little bit about image quality, and I will tackle this from two sides, from the side of the lens and also from the side of the camera. First, the lens. 100 to 300mm is not the sharpest lens in the world, but considering the equivalent focal length of 200 to 600mm in full frame terms, I think this is actually really good, especially for its budget price. My 100 to 300mm is actually the first original version, not the newer second version, so yeah, maybe that has something to do with the sharpness, but I'm quite happy with it. One thing that I really appreciate from the 100 to 300mm lens is that it has optical stabilizer on the lens, so it really helps to reduce shakiness, especially if you are using non-stabilized camera body like the GX850. It really helps in terms of image quality because motion blur is always a problem with long telephoto lenses, and that can really degrade your images. Meanwhile, the Panasonic Lumix GX850 is just a small, tiny, lightweight, simple micro four thirds camera with bare bone features and minimum handling, and trying to combine the 100 to 300mm lens with this camera feels kind of forced, to be honest. It's not natural. I don't have a lot of place to grip my right hand on the camera, and it almost feels like jamming a Christmas tree inside your bathroom. I'm sorry, I cannot come up with a better analogy. But speaking of image quality, the non-anti-aliasing filter 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor of the GX850 I think is quite good, considering that this is just a cheap, tiny little budget beginner micro four thirds camera. The sensor can resolve plenty of detail, especially from the 100 to 300mm lens, and also it has enough dynamic range, especially to shoot in tricky lighting situation. And yeah, I'm quite happy overall with the images produced with this combination of lens and camera. Let me be really honest with you guys. I really struggle a lot using this setup for my everyday photography because this focal length is just not forgiving at all. I mean, for everyday kind of photography stuff, I much prefer something in the normal focal length. Maybe slightly mild telephoto is still okay, but this is ultra telephoto. So I have to really think outside of the box, trying to come up with good pictures, trying to come up with some compositions, and it's just not easy at all. However, with that struggle, I think this setup really changes the way I think about photography. Before, I was all into trying to put as much elements into my composition as possible, trying to put foreground, midground, background, layers, rule of thirds, that kind of thing. But with this setup, I switch gear a little bit and try to be more focused with my picture, try to embrace minimalism, just focus on the subject, trying to make everything else as distraction free as possible. And I think I can get good results with that kind of mindset. Again, I have to say, this is not ideal for everyday photography setup, but hey, again, this is a challenge, and I think I did quite well with this challenge. I'm putting a pat on my own shoulder right now. Anyway, before I end this video, let me share the key takeaway point from doing this challenge. Even though I struggle with this combination of ultra telephoto lens and a tiny little camera body, I feel that I am inspired by it. I feel that I learn a lot from this setup. I feel that this setup encourages me to flex my creative muscles, and that in the end turns photography into something that is fun again. It's no longer boring for me. So guys, if you ever feel bored with photography, my solution is that you should come up with the most unthinkable camera and lens combination. And I really mean unthinkable, something that you've never did before, and go out with that camera and lens setup and try to take pictures with that unthinkable setup. You'll be surprised with the result that you'll get. You'll be surprised with the whole experience, with how you will learn to adapt to that setup and try to come up with something new and finally become more creative, and you'll be able to enjoy photography again. And that wraps up today's video. Hopefully this has been entertaining, informative, inspiring, and fun for you. So please let me know on the comment down below, what do you do when you are bored with photography? Also, if you have any question, please let me know on the comment down below and I will try my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you really enjoy my work, please consider supporting my channel even more by using the affiliate links on the description below, or use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.